that. Ah well, we've got 2 more weeks to save up. It's gonna hurt, but she's only going to need another 40 pulls to come home, so it's gonna be 2 weeks of suffering. Another banner, another hard pity. What's worse is that even though I had to go hard pity for 3 different banners, I somehow only managed to get an extra legendary once in 300 pulls. The math is somehow not mathing, but at this point I don't even care, I just want to bring my TRISS home. Let's go! And there she is.
TRISS Marigold. Pleasure. Take that! Get ready for some magic fireworks. The job's done. That you shan't forget. I'll clear the way. Enough!
You've crossed the wrong source.
I'll clear the way. Enough! Get ready for some magic fireworks. The job's done.
I'll show them.
For all I know. Get ready for some magic fireworks.
This ought to help. You've crossed the wrong sorceress.
Get ready for some magic fireworks. I will not fall. Not here. Not now. Get ready for some magic fireworks.
You shan't forget.
Take that!
I'm surprised. That went more smoothly than expected. Would it go to your head if I
Of
said
course,
you did
SP
well?
Samantha is just way above everything else in damage. But again, a 1-star TRISS can deal about the same or a little bit more damage compared to Luvata. Alright, what's the damage? Because Jesus Christ, 100 for TRISS. Yeah, this sends my average back up to 65. This also puts me at a bit of a disadvantage for the next few pulls. Today is the 29th. Even though I just zeroed out, I should still be able to hit series banner with something around 40-ish pulls. Let's go a little bit lower just in case and say 35. 35 on TRISS, that means I'm going to hit Iron Meta with 80 pulls. And then there's also all the new 2.0 stuff that we can count on, as well as the pool rebate and whatever. If we go back to the standard gacha, if I go back to getting characters in 75 pools average, the collab might not have completely killed me. Because again, 75 for the few characters I actually care about means I should still be in the positives going forward. If the characters start demanding a bit more though, we might have a problem. Her trait gives her immunity to burning and frosty tiles, so she can walk on whatever she creates. Healing received reduced by 50%, and the shield value gain increased by 50%. When she has shields, she becomes immune to interruption effects. So decent with her own shield, decent with Felin, and immunity to interruption means that she should be able to walk under SP Samantha's passive without getting interrupted. If she can survive a triple hit down there, that's a pretty nice bonus point. Increases magic attack by 5% and grants Rhythm of Frostfire. When triggered, a 10% boost to damage. This is just when you cast an ice skill on targets that are on burning tile or vice versa. It's an extra hit, dealing 40% corresponding elemental AoE damage to all enemies within a 1-tile radius of the target. Each enemy can take damage up to twice. I'm going to have to try this out against enemies that are all nice and huddled together, because I get the feeling Rhythm of Frostfire, especially if you have characters that can pull enemies closer, like Nydia or, god, Shanaz. Cien actually has access to Shanaz. She can pull everyone together, and then TRISS is going to deal a ton more damage with Rhythm of Frostfire. For us in Global, we're going to have to wait like 5.5 more months, but still, pretty cool effect. Up to 2 stars, 10% magic attack, that's basically just it. Up to 3 stars, the magic attack boost goes to 15%, and Rhythm of Frostfire also lets her recover 1 energy and reduce all class skill cooldowns by 1 turn. After attacking, inflicts Frostfire weakness on the target. The next active attack by ice or fire skills, 20% increase in damage. Holy hell! It says ice or fire skill, doesn't say another one of TRISS's own skill. So potentially this could mean 20% extra damage for Yennefer or 20% extra damage for Luvata. Up to 4 stars, another 5% boost to magic attack, and when she's on a burning or frosty tile, she gains a shield worth 20% of her magical attack, both physical and magical. When up to 5 stars, again another 5% boost to magic attack. When Rhythm of Frostfire is triggered, 20% boost to damage, up from 10% at 4 stars, recovers 2 energy and reduces skill cooldowns by 2 turns. These might actually be quite big. Not only it's a whole boost to damage, but it's also, god, 2 turn cooldown reduction for all her skills. I'm afraid she might really want this 5 star. That is all though. Frostfire weakness doesn't gain any extra bonuses, and the shield remains 20% of her magic attack. When it comes to her skills, Pocket Elixir could give her a little bit of sustain for her allies, little bit of a heal, little bit of a buff, but the Fireball inflicts heal, block and attack too. I think this might be relevant mostly for just bosses, just in case. Rank 3 we've got Hailstorm, 55% ice damage to all enemies within 3 tiles, very large AoE, as well as 2 stacks of minor frostbite. I actually didn't know that she also inflicted damage over time. That's cool. That's really cool. And of course, she turns the tiles into frosty for 2 turns. Before attacking, 20% boost to attack, and after attacking, prepares for 1 turn, after which she triggers Hailstorm once again. So she needs to survive for 1 turn, but this is technically 110% ice AoE damage. If you can apply a fire effect while she's still waiting to auto-cast the second Hailstorm, she should be able to proc Rhythm of Frostfire once again on top of the new fire tiles. The one thing that's a little bit weird is the 4 turns cooldown. This is a bit too high, and probably the reason why that 5 star is going to be so very important. On the second turn, Firestorm. Target tile, 140% AoE damage to all enemies within 2 tiles of the target, as well as a stack of ignition. Turns the tile into burning for 2 turns, and of course, before attacking, another 20% boost to attack. The energy cost, 2 turns cooldown, which goes down to 1 at 3 stars and 0 at 5 stars. The only thing I'm not particularly fond of is the fact that this AoE has a 2 tiles range, compared to the 3 tile range of the Hailstorm, as well as compared to the 3 tiles range of Luvata's own AoE. When it comes to the reactions, we've got energy recovery, but considering that she's a caster, she's very squishy, you generally do not want her to take damage. And if you run her with Geralt, Geralt can still substitute for single target attacks for her, so we go with Magic Barrier instead. Before receiving a single target attack, she can perform Preempt, gaining a shield corresponding to the damage type equal to 60% of her magic attack for 2 turns. This also has a 3 turn cooldown, but again, this 3 turn cooldown is going to go down with the cooldown reduction passives moving forward. Up to rank 7 we see Frost Control. When casting Ice skill, if the target is on a frosty tile, inflicts movement down and bound vision. This one only reduces the max range of range skills by 1 tile. Not that big of a deal. The only thing is that it reduces the cooldown of Hailstorm by 1 turn after you cast it, so you may spam a few more frosty tiles. Looks more of a utility type skill, not that big a fan. Especially when on the other side we've got TRISS' Wrath. Increases crit rate by 30% against targets with Bound, additionally increases crit by 20% and magic attack by 30%. And again, we've seen that Bound can be applied by Ciri on targets that should be immune to it as well, thanks to her stagger mechanic. So yeah, 50% free crit rate, 30% free magic attack, up to rank 9. Ice Bolt just applies movement -1 for 1 turn, Fire Arrow applies Scorch as well as turning tiles into burning, so I went with this one. There's no difference in range, no damage. Rank 11 we've got Ice Shock for a 60% ice AoE damage to all enemies in a straight line, as well as movement -3 on the first target for 2 turns. If the target already has a movement debuff, applies Frozen for 2 turns. This is a bound type debuff that basically turns the enemy into a little icicle. Something like this can potentially be useful during the later stages of Universal Derivation, where you kind of need to manage your enemies and you can't just blast through with just damage, but I'm honestly not that big a fan of it, especially for the 3-turn cooldown, so I'ma leave it here. On the other side, Elemental Harmony. When casting Ice and Fire skill, restores 1 energy and reduces all class cooldowns by 1 turn. Alternatively, I think Hailstorm plus Firestorm are going to be basically permanently active on her skill bar, but if you want to run Elemental Mastery, that means we have to give up on TRISS' Wrath. And when it comes to restoring energy, we have a lot of other characters that can do it. We've got Tair, we've got Coco, which reduces energy cost, we've got SP Inanna, and kind of the same goes for the cooldowns. Coco, Convallaria Flag, Redenza, they all help cooldown wise. So Elemental Harmony might be kind of somewhat useful on the low levels if you're on a long fight and you just want to keep on alternating Hail and Firestorms, but otherwise, the moment she hits 3 stars, or better yet, 5 stars, Elemental Harmony basically loses all sort of utility. As for rank 13, she comes with a unique Fearless trait when attacking targets with damage over time, plus 15% damage, plus 20% crit, when triggering Rhythm of Frostfire, another 10% boost to magic attack. So if she's attacking a target under a damage over time effect, which again, she can also apply herself, that is 70% free crit rate. Not enough for a guaranteed, mind you, you might still want some passive gear for the guaranteed crit, but 70% is really damn high. Now, when it comes to her builds, we've got our Fire Arrow, got our Magic Barrier, and now we've got questions. As Teleport is an insta skill on a 4-turn cooldown, which teleports her at a 1 to 5 range, as well as giving her a 50% magic attack, physical and magical shield, and 2 energy restoration. This also comes with an extra passive, which gives her Resolve, so she doesn't die, and when triggered, she can teleport to the closest ally within 2 to 6 tiles. Honestly, this is both great utility for movement and energy restoration, as well as a really nice panic button, just in case you're facing some enemies that move a bit too much. But we only have 3 skill slots. Hailstorm is the first one I want to put in, because again, she has to start the battle with this one to apply the ice tiles onto which proc Frostfire, and then, of course, Firestorm to proc said Frostfire. For the 3rd slot, 50% crit, going up to 70% with the Fearless trait. I don't think we can move away from these two, but this kind of forces us on a single glass cannon type build that only deals damage. There is potentially another option, and that is that we remove Hailstorm from her and we replace Hailstorm with either Teleport for movement and shields, or Fireball to basically fight against bosses. You run Yennefer with elemental control, so whether you're casting Hail turns the tiles into frosty ones, or Elemental Storm does kind of the same. Since Yennefer has 245 speed, she's almost always going to move first, and she can set up the stage for TRISS to deal some pretty damn nice damage. Otherwise, we've got Geralt coming in at 152 speed, he can potentially move before TRISS so that he can run forward and cast the Igni sign to apply some burning tiles. Not to mention up to a 30% damage boost against enemies who are bound, just from his leader skill. Because yeah, TRISS herself, 151 speed, basically tailor-made for each other. The only one problem with this 151 speed is the fact that she's not really going to be playing all that nicely with SP Samantha, because SP Samantha is at 152. To be honest, if they put TRISS at 153 speed and Geralt at 154, they would have made a perfect combo to play alongside Samantha Everglow as well. As for her gear, we have the Flames of the Fearless in here, coming in with an extra 10% crit damage, and when triggering Frostfire going up to 20%, and this can potentially go to 20 and 40% at 5 stars. There's a little bit of a problem though. I do not want to spend any more pools on this banner. 40% crit damage looks very juicy, but with the 50 pools I've wasted in here, I've only managed to get 1 Witcher Swords for Geralt, as well as 1 Zirael for Ciri. I'm afraid both TRISS and Yennefer are going to work without their signature weapons. Zirael is going to be the one weapon that I'm going to max. Witcher Swords, 16% boost to attack and defense as base, nice free stats, not gonna complain about this, but the Zirael star ups are honestly all kinds of insane. At 3 stars it gives buffs to special skills, and up to 5 stars it also adds another 20% boost to damage. And I think I'd rather get all this rather than a little bit of better support for Yennefer or a bit more crit damage for TRISS. TRISS herself is likely going to be stuck with another Diffusing Prism, which, again, another 20% boost to damage is not so bad. Nirvana brings another 20% boost to AoE damage and lets her apply more ignition for more damage over time, as well as some free burning tiles so that she can proc the Rhythm of Frostfire when casting Hailstorm, but I don't really want to move the Nirvana off of Luvata. When it comes to her trinket, more stats for more damage from either Origin Hourglass or Shield of Justice, always good. But again, if we are facing some grass tiles, a Roaring Flint wouldn't be that bad of a call, because this also counts as a fire attack. Technically deals fire damage, sets the ground on fire, and after casting Roaring Flint, she can use Hailstorm to trigger Rhythm of Frostfire, even if she's away from Geralt. As for Tarot, it's going to be Magician. Again, all AoE damage, there's no way she's not using a Magician here. Alright then, now that she's nice and geared up, let's take her out for a spin. Of course she's going to work well with her own little group here, and on top of these I guess we can also just add Credenza for sustain and Samantha for the second leader skill. She can start applying bound to whatever.
Stand down, there's fight in me yet, coward.
Come, time's of the essence. You've crossed the wrong sorceress.
I'll clear the way.
Damage 3 and speed 2. 30% extra damage, plus leader aura, 10% skill damage, 20% AoE damage, plus Radiant Watch, 2 stacks, and the Flag of Convallaria, which is down here. You can start with Prairie Fire, 30k, onto which we cast Hailstorm.
Take that!
Come on, come
Jesus
closer.
Christ. I think I should have started with the AoE buff from Yennefer so that everyone would have gotten the immunity to Frosty and Burn tiles. Because otherwise, yeah, our team is getting impaired as well.
Stand down.
I'll clear the way.
That's the free cast. This hits a decent number of targets.
Get ready for some magic fireworks.
Come, time's of the essence.
And that's a fairly easy 500,000.
This ought to help. You've crossed the wrong sorceress.
That's unfortunate, but this also means that we can use the cooldown reduction from Credenza on another unit.
You're a true friend.
And everything is taking damage from Samantha. Holy.
You shan't make it out of here.
Just more hail. There's another nice
I'll
combo
clear
on
the
turn
way.
3, another easy half a milli, and we can cast this again.
Take that!
On even more units this time.
本当にありがとう
700k from Yennefer,
この道を一緒に
700k
歩ん
from
でくれ
Ciri, but again I've been using these two mostly as support. 1.7 million from TRISS, 1.8 million from SP Samantha. Almost the same amount of damage. TRISS is 1 star, SP Samantha is 5 star. What the actual hell? Alright, so first thing first, try and clear as much of the stuff down here as possible, because these plants don't move and they're going to be a hell of a pain in the ass later on.
好きだらけね。
Endless web, and we move back so we're not caught. And yeah, I guess the extra few levels on the compendium are helping out quite a lot, because the stuff didn't used to blow up this fast.
罪には罰を在郷
Come
で
on, come closer.
That should be fine.
Eat this. Gave me no
I'll
choice.
clear the way.
Fairy fire. Then counts as a fire skill, so
Enough!
Hailstorm. And that's our
I
first
had
fire.
hoped to avoid a slaughter.
いかがいたしましょう審判の時です
Okay, we're all
全て
good
は
down
私
here.
の手のひらの。
Election will also have a 2-turn cooldown
一緒に行きましょう。
after he's done. We only hit 2, but we also kind of clear this stuff near Geralt. So Geralt can move forward.
審判の時です闇を払い
Come on, come closer.
Okay, still survived and only 3 units got hit. Thankfully, Credenza didn't get debuffed. There's still way too many enemies alive for the boss to take damage, but the enemies shouldn't be alive for much longer.
Get ready for some magic fireworks.
光は生きとし生けるものを守り
Nice
All these
try.
dispels mostly just to
全ては私
clear
の手
the
の
heal
ひら。
blocks. That's annoying.
お見通しよ。
But we're fine, there's plenty of shields and SP Samantha is healing.
やっ在郷め
Come on, come closer.
We need to take this flower out somehow.
Take that!
あなたの選択を信じます光よ生きとし生けるものを守り
全ては私の手。おや？
Okay, now it's better.
お楽しみはこれからよ。屈服なさい。さようなら。
And we come back near our flag, which is about to get blown up, sadly.
一緒に行きましょう
But with the coast now clear,
罪には罰を審判の時です
Come on, come closer.
that's the first wave down. Let's get a shield on Geralt.
I'll clear the way.
Alright, there's our hit. Let's go wolves first.
Get ready for some magic fireworks.
光よ生きとし生けるものを守る
These take care of these two. This is down. Basically dead. This one needs to get hit. This one needs to get hit. And I can't hit both at the same time. Hit these two up here.
お見通し。どうあがいても
Okay,
無駄
that's great. Now I just need to wait for them to move.
緒に行きましょう。
Fantastic, she hits everyone and there's no more flowers on this side.
罪には罰を。審判の時です。在郷滅却。
We need Geralt for this, so he doesn't summon the other monsters once more.
I'll clear the way. Yeah!
Yeah, just teleports.
いかがいたしましょう。光よ。生きとし生ける者を守れ。審判の時です。罪には罰を。審判の時です。
And he should be going down
の手のひらの上。お楽しみはこれからよ。
either now or on TRISS' next turn.
お見通しよ。
やっ。あなたを信じています。
There we go.
闇夜に潜む罪悪を打ち払い、人々の心に希望の光を灯す。
Yeah, sadly, TRISS below 3 stars without the cooldown reduction for her skills does suck a little. Because I don't get to use Coco, I don't get to bring more cooldown reduction just for her. So I'm afraid Samantha kind of outclassed her in this one. But still, that's my difficulty 10. Oh, when the challenge ends, so basically next month I get the Anthem of the Undefeated. They did make this a bit easy though. One last thing before we go, there's a couple of things I want to try, and they mostly have to do with extra turns. So we bring both Inannas out for this one. First thing first, what is she going to do with Call of Freedom?
みんなも一緒に前へ。
Pretty sure that she's not going to proc Hailstorm twice.
Enough!
何か私にお手伝い
Okay,
できる
no,
ことは。
she does not proc Hailstorm it twice instantly. The extra turn from Call of Freedom goes wasted. As for Princess Prayer,
頑張って。私がついていますから。
You're a true friend.
ありがとう。
this does work. Reactivation plus Firestorm cast.
Get ready for some magic fireworks.
So, all in all, pretty damn hot unit. Very, very fun to use with the Hail and Firestorm. All the extra damage from the Rhythm of Frostfire is really nice to see pop up. But sadly, she kind of sucks at 1 and 2 stars. She wants to be 3 stars minimum in order to be sort of playable. And she also kind of demands that 5 star so that she can have all the energy and cooldown that she actually needs in order to be properly playable. Companion-wise, it's weird to see a unit that doesn't play that well with SP Nanna. I'm honestly kind of baffled by the fact. But overall, damage is great. Very surprised by the amount of damage that she dishes out even at 1 star. So I'm curious about what's gonna happen to all of the Elaman units. Because getting this before Elaman is likely going to change a lot of pool priority. Hell, the entire meta going forward for global is going to be completely shaken up. Alright then, I guess that's gonna be it for me for the moment. Looks like I got to end the year with a little bit of bad luck. So hopefully 2026 is going to turn things around. As always, thanks a lot for watching, good luck with your pools going forward, and hey, happy past Christmas and Happy New Year. See you guys around soon. Ciao!
Forever